Hello, Somerset County, and welcome to this edition of the Scoop Podcast. My name is Chris Edwards. I'm the President and CEO of the Somerset County Business Partnership. Thank you so much for joining us. Today we have a really special episode because I think we're kind of melting a lot of different aspects of the partnership into one, which I'll get into in a second. I want to thank our two sponsors of today's podcast, Robert Wood Johnson University Hospital Somerset and Unity Bank. Thank them for their support, and you'll be hearing from both of them soon on the Scoop. Today, I'm joined today by Joe Atchison, the Assistant Secretary of Agriculture, and Laura DePrado, CEO, founder, Legacy Award winner, longtime ambassador here at the Business Partnership. Thank you both for joining us today, and welcome.
Welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.
So this is a unique episode for us. Sometimes we usually talk about specific businesses or maybe something that's going on at the partnership. Today, we're lucky enough, Joe, to have you here representing the Department of Agriculture. And I think the first stop for our viewers is, what does the Department of Agriculture do?
And that's a great question. We could be here. How much time do we have? We could be here all day talking about it. The New Jersey Department of Agriculture was founded in 1916, so 110 years now, if I'm doing my math correctly. And it touches so many New Jerseyans' lives every day, almost every New Jerseyans' life every day. Agriculture itself is so broad, but the Department of Agriculture even steps beyond that. We have our Secretary of Agriculture, Ed Wengren, who is only the 8th Secretary of Agriculture since 1916.
Wow.
They go across different administrations.
It's like a Supreme Court position here.
It's just about. Yeah, we have a unique situation in New Jersey. We have an 8-member state board of agriculture, of which 8 of the seats are all farmer members, and 4 of the seats have to be occupied by the 4 biggest sectors of the industry. You have hay and grain, you have fruit, you have vegetable, and then you have the largest sector in New Jersey, which is horticulture, nursery, and turf grass. And so that is the largest segment of the agricultural industry in New Jersey. At the department itself, we're made up of 5 divisions. We have the Division of Marketing and Development, which I'm the Director of Marketing and Development. We have the Division of Agriculture and Natural Resources. We have Food and Nutrition, which oversees emergency feeding operations, food banks, school breakfast and lunch programs, and adult and child care feeding programs. We also have the Division of Plant Industry, which oversees licensing and inspecting nursery operations, garden centers. They also are responsible for making sure that we don't have any invasive pests and plants. That's why we're really pushing native plants. That's a big thing in New Jersey now, is getting back to what is native to New Jersey. And then finally, we have the Division of Animal Health, which oversees, obviously, humane standards for animals and make sure that we're doing everything right. And then also, any infectious disease or anything that's coming along the line there. Right now, you may have heard of HPAI or high path avian influenza. Especially it was in the stories a couple weeks ago about some wild geese. So we make sure that our domestic flocks are taken care of and properly protected, and make sure we maintain any steps to make sure that doesn't go beyond that. In addition, we have 2 in but not of divisions within the department. We have the SADC, which is the State Agricultural Development Committee, which is responsible for farmland preservation and making sure that pieces of property, farms that are preserved as farmland forever. And that's very important. We have over 250,000 acres preserved in New Jersey. That's 250,000. Now, our overall goal is 500,000. And it's going to take a lot of work and a lot of effort, but we want to make sure that we reach that goal to preserve farmland in the Garden State. And then finally, we have the division, or the Office of the Food Security Advocate, which is making sure that people are fed. And it's not just making sure people have food; it's making sure they have the resources needed and the ability to have access to that food. And so that's the quick overview of the department, but I can go into a lot more detail.
I did my research. I was on your webpage this morning, and oh my God, I was like, I can't believe how many subdivisions are within the department. If you just think of school lunches and how complicated of an issue that is, and that's just one part of what you do there, and it's one of the things I've noticed a lot because obviously Somerset County, our leadership at the county is very proud of the amount of protected space we have here in the county. I feel like the more local you get, the more citizens value the fact of keeping space preserved. I think especially in an era of warehouse growth and in those types of industries growing, we really want to protect our open space. How many people, I guess, I don't know how you quantify, but how big from an employee or people you work with is the department?
It's approximately 265 people. There's temps, there's contractors, but generally about 265 overall. And that's right at our main office in Trenton, at the Food and Nutrition Building over by the Trenton train station, at the Health and Agriculture Lab up on the State Police Barracks campus. And then we have an inspection unit out of Vineland that goes around to make sure that we have safe food, produce safety checks. And we were a leader in the country in making sure that produce safety inspections were taking place. And so we definitely take pride in Jersey Fresh, which is the fruit and vegetable branding, and Jersey Grown, which is our horticultural branding. And, obviously there's Jersey Seafood out there as well and other things. But Jersey Fresh is probably the most public facing that most people have seen at the farm markets, farm stands, out at the grocery stores. And that's something that was established 42 years ago, 1984. It was before my time. I was still finishing high school at that point. But I am proud to carry that mantle now going forward and representing, the garden and the Garden State.
That's... I think it's an iconic brand. We actually had, through tourism, we were at a conference, and they were talking about two iconic brands here in the Mid-Atlantic. And one was Virginia's for Lovers, which is their tourism slogan. It's been around forever. And the other was Jersey Fresh. So I think that's a testament to your team, not only people before you who launched it, but also sticking with it and maintaining it. It's not just having a slogan. It's getting it out there and making sure everyone's buying in. Laura, I want to bring you in. Obviously, a lot of our members and viewers know you from just always being so present at the partnership, but we rarely get to talk to you about your work. It's always your volunteerism, right? People just assume you're on staff here at the partnership. Yes. But tell us a little bit about Final Touch and really maybe how you started to get connected, to the point now where you're doing a podcast with the Department of Agriculture.
Oh, first of all, thank you for having me, Joe. What a privilege. So I am the CEO, as you mentioned earlier, the founder, and a professionally registered horticultural therapy practitioner, or just practitioner. I'm based in Somerset County, New Jersey, and what I do, I customize activities and programs for children and seniors, all stages of life, using plants, seasonally related materials, in addition to plants, and ages 3rd grade up to 106 across New Jersey. So I go out to the various facility types and I provide the programs within the teams that I'm working with on site to facilitate those programs. And so it's everything from young, 6th, 3rd grade, and to give them exposure to plants and horticulture in a very fun, non-judgmental way, and that's true even up to 106. Yep. And then also youth at risk, substance use, recovery, mental health, and again, this is across New Jersey. The adolescents also at risk. Sad that we have to even bring that up, but a lot of people are struggling, and so plants are that safe common denominator to be able to go in and provide the benefits and the exposure. Seniors, the whole spectrum of senior. I guess I might be in a senior category now too myself. So that includes skilled nursing facilities, assisted living, every stage of memory care, Alzheimer's, dementia, all the way through hospice. And this also includes families and caregivers. So it's a pretty broad audience, I would say, too. And that also does include survivorship. It includes Robert Wood Johnson. It includes the Steeplechase Cancer Center, clinicians, outpatient, inpatient, in many different types of facilities and sectors across New Jersey. And with that, I guess I would put myself in the pioneer category for what is a young and growing profession that only started in 1973, and that is the profession of horticulture as therapy, which is also known as therapeutic horticulture. And many of my teams actually comprise of recreation therapy, speech therapy, occupational therapy, physical therapy, music therapy, art therapy, and horticulture therapy. So I'm literally, when I'm out there, I'm not on an island, standing on an island by myself. I'm with a village of incredibly talented, brilliant people to help to carry out these customized programs to bring the benefits of plants and seasonally related materials at all stages of life, which is how the department and I even ended up I guess intersecting, right, Joe?
Yeah.
Meeting. Gosh, a long time ago, 2008.
I've been with the department for 21 years now. I met Laura probably in my second or third year, and Laura was serving on the board of the New Jersey Agricultural Society.
Yep.
And I met her, and then, as the relationship developed years later, I know Laura, came to the department. And we've forged this bond, and I'll let you talk a little bit more about that.
Yeah, and we do. We go back a long way in previous leadership within the department, and I'm forever grateful to them and to the current leadership as well. And I'll say in advance, thank you to the future leadership too. And with that said, so it was really through the department that, horticulture therapy, horticulture what? Right? And but the concept, if you will, at the time was, what do you mean plants help people benefit people? But honestly, at this point, I don't even think it needs too much explanation. Right. We all get it. We all get it intuitively. And, we're talking about people and plants and the origin of plants in medicine, pharmacy, in botany, in perfume, aromatherapy. They are the very fabric of our lives since the beginning of time. And so it just makes sense that at some point in time, this, the field of horticulture as therapy and the department, along with many other entities, would intersect. Yep. So I do serve here in Somerset County on the Agricultural Development Board. Joe mentioned the SADC at the state level, the horticulture therapy as a designated week in March. That's kind of crazy, right? Previous leadership would say, Laura, you realize you have to fill a whole week in March, the third week of March? Oh, my goodness. And that snowball, if you will, in the most wonderful way, has picked up the most enormous size and momentum coming down that mountain in terms of where we have grown in this field and where we intersect, yep. To bring everybody this exposure and the benefits. So the agricultural convention with all the industries represented, right, Joe? How many industries are represented across New Jersey?
Well, we have a state agricultural convention every either January or February. And we have 100 delegates representing 80 different organizations, including yep. county boards of agriculture, and then every ag-related industry and organization in between. So, and then they pass resolutions and policy papers that help set the direction for the department for the coming year.
That's right. And I was contributory to the policy part of this in terms of the way things have to work in bringing a policy via a resolution to the convention. And in this case, it was for horticulture therapy. not just in one convention, but 5 different conventions as the field was growing.
Right.
And in my prior career as a journalist, which I use heavily to this day in writing, the convention was able to help grow this field by way of awareness that it exists, and yes, we support it. And what does it mean? And so the what does it mean part is still growing. It wasn't one and done with a single resolution, a single annual convention. So with that said, the law or the has been memorialized back in 2015. It was signed by the governor at the time in 2015. And it was a bipartisan law with great thanks to the collaboration, the leadership of senators on both sides of the aisle. I say plants are actually bipartisan. And so out of 4,000 bills in 2015, only 200 passed, became law, including Horticultural Therapy Week. Which is memorialized, meaning it is forever. So we get to grow this forever, if you will.
Well, that's a perfect segue because I think there's always movements in or moments in any type of movement, right? So I feel like horticultural therapy, maybe just horticultural as an industry, has really taken off the last 20, 30 years. Now you're talking about getting state law, you're getting county designated weeks. Now I think we're at a moment when it comes to the event coming up at the ballpark, TD Bank Ballpark, with the Patriots. So I think that's a moment, and I know that's something you're put a lot of work in. So for our viewers, could you talk a little bit about what that event is and maybe what you hope to be? And it's, as I like to say, it's the first annual. It's going to be the one of many.
I pray it's the first annual. And so a walk in the park, it is called, at the TD Bank Ballpark.
And we'll link out to this on the
Fabulous.
website and stuff. So people, if they're looking for it, just look for in the comments a link to the event.
It will take place on Tuesday, March the 24th from 11 to 1. And it will take a village, is an understatement. And it is free to all. No tickets or registration are required. It is in collaboration with the Department of Agriculture, Jersey grown, with Unity Bank, and many other collaborators. And what we're doing is we're staging a park-like setting to showcase Jersey grown and what grows here in New Jersey. And folks will have the opportunity to enter, to walk through. I put together a wonderful sensory game, so everyone will get to participate, including the department and including anyone who wishes to. It's self-paced, and they will have the chance to actually interact with, using their senses through the sensory game, the plants that are grown here. A nice display, if you will, of the plants that are grown here in New Jersey. And it's just going to be some of the plants. And you can actually see some of them here as...
our podcast studio does not look naturally this beautiful. So maybe something we have to work on here.
Yeah, so, we're looking at colors, textures, sizes, shapes, fragrances, uses, you name it. And we want to encourage everyone, no matter who you are, to get up, to get outside, to do this for yourself, to take a family member, bring your family, and just allow yourself to have fun and be in the moment. And it's that simple. It is truly a pure community event. And, it is, like I said, we have a whole week to fill. So, prayerfully, it's more than the first annual. And, we're going to make it a wonderful day.
Well, I think, from I'll spin it from the business partnership perspective is there's a couple of aspects. I think one of the things a lot of companies care deeply about is the mental health of their employees and looking for ways that do it that aren't cumbersome to the business. And this is to me a layup, right? You can have so certainly if you're within in Somerset County, you're pretty close to the ballpark,
Yep.
and have their employees go out on lunch break and take a walk. I'm sure it's going to be a 75-degree and sunny
let's hope.
late March afternoon. I think that's a tremendous opportunity from the business sector. And Joe, can you just and from your perspective, from the marketing side, Department of Agriculture, how do events like this and maybe similar events that you do to get the word out, what do you see as far as the value in that, and maybe how do you get the word out with these marketing campaigns?
Well, I'm glad you asked, because I was going to answer even if you didn't ask. You're talking about business, and ultimately we have a lot of great business operators, farmers, nurserymen, garden center operators, aquaculturists, fishermen, and equine industry all falls under the Department of Agriculture in New Jersey. And as I said earlier, horticulture is the number one sector. We just recently got from the USDA, the National Ag Statistics Service, their summary from the past 5-year census of horticulture. And I'm pleased to report that sales of horticultural products in New Jersey climbed from $505 million to $703 million in the period between 2019 and 2024. And we know that the pandemic discovered a lot of new gardeners. People found gardening because they wanted to be outside.
Yep.
We know from studies that gardening and working with the soil, relieves stress, gets people out there doing physical activity, gives them fresh air, and it's a great opportunity for people to engage with the land and with each other. We are number 8 in the country for horticulture sales. With floriculture sales of about $356 million, we are 3rd in the entire country in floriculture sales. And so that's fantastic. So the business is there. We want people to support local nurseries, garden centers, get out there and buy your products there, engage with them, talk with them. They want to educate you. Then, as far as the engagement with Laura and with the Walk in the Park event, it's a no-brainer for us. I mean, it's an opportunity for us to showcase this part of the industry in New Jersey.
Right.
We have some giveaways. We have some Jersey Fresh and Jersey Grown giveaways. A seed card where people can see the information, and then plant it and grow out herbs that they're doing. We're also giving them out to sponsor.
Yes, we're going to make sure that they are available to everybody who attends. That's everybody, right? Chris, and your staff.
Oh, we'll be there.
And
I'll be there.
All the employees at Robert Wood Johnson University Hospital. And it's the first of its kind. They, too, will receive a commemorative seed card. It will have the instructions on it. Don't throw this card away is one of the first things it will say. Right, Joe? And allow everyone who chooses to plant that card to grow, literally and figuratively. And we decided that that participants who do this will be able to participate in a photo contest through the growing or gardening season. So it's not one and done. They will be able to photograph planting their herb seed card, taking care of it, nature, nurture, nurture, nature, that symbiotic relationship. They'll be able to also photograph other Jersey-grown things that are growing in their garden, or that they purchased a Jersey-grown plant from this grower or from this garden center or whatever. And we decided to widen the scope in exposure and educating everyone about what to buy, where they can go, what it means on a beneficial level for each and every individual, and get everybody out there growing. So it's very exciting that so many of these pieces and these spheres, right, are coming together for a walk in the park. And the message is connect to plants, engage with them, use your senses, let them be your guide. You can grow together, you can garden together. And one thing that I cannot emphasize enough that is so important, when we use the word garden and gardening, one plant, one person is now a garden, and they are gardening. This is not about, oh my God, I don't have the space. I can't grow something. I live in a townhome. I live in an apartment. No, this is about you and a single plant and the benefits that that brings to you, your family who's planting with you.
Yep.
So I want to remove the whole conclusion that you need the physical space and the wheelbarrows and all of the things that go with it to go out and start a garden. Well, guess what? You're looking at one right here in this podcast, right? Each one is how many gardens right here. Yeah. And you got 3 of us in the podcast. So think about the ripple effect in the water that way. So that's kind of cool, right, Joe? Right?
I think about like my kids. I have my 7-year-old. He definitely is very hyperactive, and we build a lot of Legos, and Legos is a very expensive hobby to have, especially when you get bored and you keep escalating. And we've actually discovered plants as a way to do something outside, obviously. But it's also something like, something people don't think of is like when you carve pumpkins, right? Like it's those things that kids love to do that people don't realize that they're, interacting with nature in that way. And Joe, to your point, I think my Edwards family might have single-handedly boosted your GDP numbers, because when we get together, we buy literally dozens and dozens of ears of corn, and then that's all we just do. We roast the corn over a fire, and we get some fresh tomatoes. When my family comes in from the Midwest, that they want to get Jersey corn, Jersey tomatoes, and that's like one of our traditions in September and October.
Those are the famous ones.
Those are very famous. They really are, and those traditions are invaluable. And to get your family together, right, to be able to do those things, and you can do those things throughout all the seasons, including winter. I've never been so busy with connecting people to plants throughout the pandemic, throughout the winter. This winter has been hard on all of us. And now here we are, right? So now let's get everybody to start thinking about Jersey grown and the benefits of plants, of which there are many. I will be providing a wonderful fact sheet about horticultural therapy for all the participants that will also go out to those who cannot also attend the event physically. And it's a wonderful bit of information just in conversation form about what it is, who it benefits, why do we do this, right? And these very things that you guys are exchanging, right, are all part of that, right? And so now we're talking about our number one grown commodity in New Jersey, coming out of New Jersey, which is the horticulture.
No, it's unbelievable. I think, like I said, I could do a podcast on podcast just about the agriculture industry. But Joe, I wanted to kind of give you the last word. Is there anything else going on this year in your world that that's really captivating you?
Well, we have a lot of things going on, and I'm heading to New York next week for a dairy conference, and then we have up to Toronto for a fruit and vegetable conference up in Toronto for the Canadian Produce Marketing Association. We have meetings throughout the summer with different industry organizations. But as a good marketing person, as the last word, I'm going to ask people to go to Facebook or Instagram, look for Jersey Grown, follow Jersey Grown, because that's where they're going to get this information. They're going to share their photos. They're going to participate in the contest. As a good marketer, you always ask at the end for the transaction, and that transaction is simply follow us for free and participate in our contest. See what's going on. We also have a Jersey Fresh Facebook and Instagram page. We encourage people to follow that as well. It's a pleasure being here. I thank you for the opportunity to share what we're doing, and I'm excited to see how the season goes. We're heading right into it right now.
Yeah, we really are. Absolutely. And come March, right? That window of March and April, we don't know what we're going to get, right? But no matter what, a walk in the park is going to happen, and a huge thank you to the Somerset Patriots for the venue and for the incredible support in making this happen. It's incredible. It's truly a gift, and it's a gift out to all of you. Come on out, grow.
Yep. No, look. Everyone wants to get out right now. Everyone's itching. We certainly have enough moisture and fertile land for a great year. So, thank you both for joining us on The Scoop. And until we upload again. Perfect. That was, believe it or not, that was